I feel that the power of dreams is tremendously intense. In the last week since I've left Dallas, Texas, I have had dreams on a consecutive basis, back to back every single night. And I can remember more of the details in the dreams. Now, maybe it's because I've moved to a new city. Maybe it's because it's a higher elevation where I currently am. Maybe it's because I've been smoking less cigarettes. Maybe it's because we're getting closer to December 21st, 2012 and the galactic alignment and the potential shift that may bring to individual and collective consciousness. Who knows exactly why, but I am aware that it's happening, and I feel compelled to make a video to remind people there is power in observing your dreams and observing patterns in your dreams. And I can certainly feel how there is the world that I'm living in right here in the so-called real world, in the realm of flesh. And there's another world that we live in. And I've always felt this way. This is nothing new. It just seems that in the last week it's become more obvious. So in these dreams that I'm having deep conversations. It looks like the real world. It doesn't exactly feel exactly like the so-called real world, but there are things that mirror each other. Having deep conversations. Sometimes I'm talking with someone and I'm sharing part of my life story, or I'm talking about things going on with me, or I'm filming them with a little camera like this. This is the type of camera that I took to the RNC, Tampa Bay, Florida. That's a good camera. But I was in a dream last night talking to someone for a significant amount of time, and I'm filming them with this. And so sometimes our dreams will take things in our mind, our subconscious, and they'll somehow do something with that and give it back to us. And some say, hey, the dreams have no meaning. It's just our subconscious taking random bits of information that we've seen in our consciousness or subconscious state and making a dream out of it. But sometimes there are reasons why you encounter certain people in dreams on a regular basis that you have never met in your life. There's a guy that has a YouTube channel that I've been watching on and off for a couple of years. George for Title is the name of the channel. I don't know what it is about this guy, George. We haven't had any direct communication, but I feel like I know this person, or I know this soul, or I know this particular individual. And there's been a number of reoccurring dreams that I've had where I'm having these deep conversations with him. And there are times on his YouTube channel where he's describing things going on in his life that are going on in my life. It's like a replica. So in these dreams that I'm having, and I know some of you are having, some of you are open to sharing it, some of you have yet to have these dreams. But it's the idea of these souls converging, coming together and having conversations in spirit that they normally would not have in the physical, either because they're too busy, or they're separated by thousands of miles, or because they may still be in the so-called real world in the flesh, trapped by ego. But in spirit, there is no room for ego, or those fallacies, or those illusions. There is only truth. So truth is coming through in the spirit world. And for some people that are more tapped into that and seeking to be increasingly tapped into that, more will be revealed over time. And so things, I think, work themselves out in the spirit world that, for whatever reason, are not being worked out in the physical, and vice versa. So I'm aware that in the last week I've had a number of, outside of the conversations with this George character, but conversations with other individuals. And although I can't remember all of the details, it seems significant that it means something, that it wasn't just random chit-chatter around a bar getting a good buzz on, talking about random XYZ. It was something that meant something somewhere, some sort of cleansing, some sort of healing, some sort of connection being made as we ascended up the mountaintop. Now, it may not be the Rocky Mountains, it may be another mountain, it may be a metaphorical mountain, but it was a mountain nonetheless that I was on last night as I went from party to party to party. You can liken it to a protest even, or an Occupy event, minus those calling for socialism. But it's the idea of a collective consciousness of people coming together that are meeting, that are sharing their knowledge, information. And it's an amazing thing. You wake up and you go, wow, that was really, really amazing. There are other times in dreams where I felt a sense of romance with angels, in a non-sexual sense, too, mind you, but just a touching of the hand, something that felt so powerful, so strong, something that's above what we would identify to be human. But they appear to be humans, and there's just this feeling of intimacy, of compassion, of mutual respect, most of all, love. Things that at times we sometimes don't experience in this so called world, the world of the flesh. And it's like these little reminders that there is another world out there that parallels this world that, in fact, is much more real than this world. So, there are visions some people have. There are certain loving encounters some people have. There are joyous conversational encounters that some people have in the world of dreams. And I make this video today to remind you that there is power in your dreams. There's even more power in being able to control what's going on in your dreams. Some say that's lucid dreaming. But be aware of what's going on in your dreams. Some say write them down. I've never really graduated to that point of experience, partially because I don't really always see a point to it. But there is a point to remembering your dreams and understanding that there are things that are happening in those dreams that are beyond random chance, beyond your brain just taking random pieces of information from your subconscious and making some sort of a plot out of it. There are too many anomalies in dreams, especially when people see something happening in that state and it just so happens to manifest in this so-called real world, world of the flesh. So these are all things to think about as we go through these planetary changes, astrological changes, collective changes as a species on the earth, and also individual changes as a soul, your own personal individual shift in consciousness as you personally make the decision consciously to ascend spiritually up the ladder and get higher to the true God consciousness or Christ consciousness state of being and mind. Thank you for watching.